of this versus that. In this episode, we're going to be talking about milk. Yes, different kinds of milks and yogurts as well. I really want us to pay attention to this video because typically milk has the same kind of ingredients and constituents. However, what's really key to notice is how much sugar is gotten from the different kinds of milks that we have. And then with yogurts, this is a debate we have a lot. But I just want to say this. Just know that yogurt is supposed to be gotten out of the fridge and not in the aisle. Out of the fridge and not in the aisle. So as we talk today, we'll talk about what exactly is in our milk and in our yogurts, and then I'll leave you to decide which is best for your children. Stay tuned. So I've got different kinds of milk here. There's some evaporated milk, there's some liquid milk, regular liquid milk. I've got powdered milk. I've also got yogurt, and I have soy milk. So we'll be talking about all of these shortly. So we're going to be talking about milks, we're going to be talking about yogurt. Now I don't have all the varieties that I would like because I mean, to be quite honest with you, there is 1,000,001 different kinds of yogurts, milks, all of that good stuff. But I will be touching on the wide range and talking about the varieties that are offered and what's really important for you to pay attention to. Okay, so if I haven't mentioned my name before, my name is Ifeoma Omesiete. I'm a pediatric nutritionist. I practice clinically, and I'm doing this to give you better insight on what you feed your children, as well as help you make informed decisions about your children's food choices. Okay, so like I said, I've got a variety here. The first one I'm going to be talking about is going to be this guy. Now this is evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is sort of like concentrated milk, which you have to dilute. I say that again. Evaporated milk should be diluted. You have no business giving a child this kind of milk for them to use as breakfast cereal, as breakfast foods, or anything in that context, because it should be diluted with water. Now for this particular quantity, what they recommend is about 95 mils of water. So you kind of want to dilute it all the way up until about this line right here, okay? Before you go ahead and use it for either like breakfast foods, whatever you decide that you want to use it for, tea, coffee, whatever. Children are not allowed to drink coffee. It is not an option at all. Don't mistake it to be an option. Don't assume it to be an option. It's not an option, okay? All right, let's look at the nutritional content in this particular milk and then sugar. Now I want us to know something. Milk products and yogurt drinks or yogurts, any kind of yogurt, all of them practically have similar content. What differs is that for yogurts, they have a culture, okay? Which helps to break down the bacteria that's in them and sort of gives them that thickness that you see in yogurt compared to milk. So we'll talk about that. All right, first things first, we've got nutrients in here is water, whole milk from a cow, I like that. Stabilizers E339 and E407, and they say that the milk fat that's present is about 8.1%, and then the total milk solids is about 29%. So like I said, nutritional content of milks and the likes would usually be about the same. However, we're going to be looking at the sugar intake or the carbohydrate present. For this particular milk, which you would dilute with about 100 mils of water, they recommend 95, but give or take, it's 5 mils extra. And they actually put the nutritional fact here as 100 mils. What they suggest is that in each 100 mils, you get 11.0 grams of carbohydrates. You would get calcium, obviously, and you would also get vitamin D and B vitamins as well. Now the protein in here is about 8.5 grams, which is typical of what you would see in milk, between 7 to about 8 grams. That's usually the amount of protein that's present in milk. So if you have milk that doesn't have that amount of protein in it, I wouldn't recommend it for a child because what that simply means is that it's now skimmed milk or milk that's low in the protein. And I mean, heck, What's the point of giving milk if you're not going to be giving it for the protein source, right? Exactly. Okay, so let's continue. So that's that about this particular kind of milk, which again, I repeat, you are diluting it with water. You're not supposed to take evaporated milk on its own as is, especially not for your children. The next one I have is just basic liquid milk. Now, this liquid milk is a little thicker than I would normally have assumed. So when you're using it, if you don't want your child's milk to be this thick, you kind of want to dilute it as well. Now, this is just regular liquid milk. They call this particular one plain sweet. This particular one is plain sweet. Now, it's also referred as a yogurt drink. Notice I said plain milk in the beginning. They said this is a yogurt drink. Yogurt is supposed to be a lot thicker than this, okay? Yogurt is supposed to be a lot thicker than this. So I'm not exactly sure how that kind of works. I guess that's why it's called a yogurt drink. That way it's kind of like a milk drink. And as I mentioned before, yogurt is supposed to have a culture inside. So let's check and find out and make sure that this yogurt drink actually has a culture. So ingredients is yogurt base, sugar, stabilizers, E440, and then water. Okay, so simply, like I hope they would tell us, is that the yogurt base is really the yogurt in here. And they added water to kind of make it a little thinner, and I guess that's why they called it a yogurt drink. To me, this is kind of like a milk drink, to be quite honest, but because there's culture in there, we do have to call it yogurt. Now, they've got stabilizers in there as well, and there's also sugar in there, although this particular brand, this variant is plain sweet. They've also got other variants. I think they've got orange, I think there's pineapple, there's strawberry, kind of other variants. I didn't pick any of those because I kind of wanted you to see kind of the same colors when we were talking about milks and yogurts. But just know that they're yogurt drinks that contain flavors and colorings in them. This is just plain sweet. Now, I'm going to also read some of the notes that they put on here that you need to be paying attention to as well. Okay. They said you should shake well before use. I feel like almost all drinks actually recommend that. They've also said that if whatever pack you buy it in is puffy, don't purchase it again. Now, I think that's really, really important to note because when you buy certain drinks that are not in the fridge, yogurt, for me, good yogurt is supposed to be in the fridge because it contains cultures. Cultures are living bacteria. The bacteria is alive. Yogurt bases or yogurt drinks that don't contain living bacteria is milk drink. Okay? I mean, there's no other way to put it because there's absolutely no explanation how the bacteria that's supposed to be alive in there kind of stays alive. If it's in a confined space and there's a lot of heat interacting with it, the live bacteria is supposed to be alive and not interact with the drink itself. It's supposed to help to break down the break down the lactose that's found in milk drinks, and that's why yogurts have a tart taste. They're slightly tart, they're slightly sour. You kind of get that kick in your mouth. That's because of the job the bacteria is doing in helping to break down that lactose producing lactic acid, as well as giving other beneficial things that you would get from yogurt. So it's a bit harder for me to kind of believe that a yogurt drink that's not in the fridge has live bacteria. That's just my personal view. I'll let you decide on your own what you think. Okay, so they say that it also contains 2.1 grams of protein. Yogurt doesn't have as much protein as typical milk does, and the reason for that is because of the breaking down of the proteins and the lactose that's found in milk. The carbohydrate is about 13 grams, and then there's calcium, of course, then there's vitamin A and vitamin C, and then there's B vitamins as well. All in little proportions because this is really a small size. So again, we've understood what yogurt is supposed to be. They call this a yogurt drink. I call it a milk drink. I will let you decide. Now we're moving on to these guys. these are the powdered forms of milk. So I got 3 different kinds. Let me kind of show you here. Yeah, I've got 3 different kinds. They all kind of have the same similar color. I think this particular one is a bit darker than the rest. You won't be able to see it on here, but just know that one of them is a bit darker than the rest. Doesn't necessarily mean a big deal. It just might be like from the cow source or something like that. Okay, now let me start with the first one that I have here. Now what I'm trying to do here is give you a comparison, okay? We're trying to understand, because remember I said that milk has similar content. What tends to differ is like the sugar content in each particular brand. So the first one I have here contains, let's look for the nutritional needs in this. There we go. So it has skimmed milk and buttermilk, vegetable fats, sugar, soy, lecithin, which is EP2, vitamins A, C, D, E, K, folic acid, and those are the content of this particular brand. Now, things I want you to pay attention to. You're going to be hearing this quite a bit with the milks because it's just part of how they help to preserve the milks, which is soy lecithin. Now, it's important to know that your child might not necessarily be allergic or have an intolerance to the milk itself. It might be an intolerance to the soy lecithin that's present inside the powdered milk. So next time you're giving your child milk of any kind and you notice a reaction, you kind of want to check the 2 to be sure what's causing it. Okay, now let's move on to the sugar, because like I said, they pretty much have the same amount of things. So we'll look at the protein and the sugars as well. Proteins and carbohydrates, sometimes they will list the carbohydrates of which are sugars. So the protein here in this pack is about, let's see, it says that 100 grams of this is not up to 100 grams, okay? I think this is maybe about 50 grams in the pack. So we're going to be doing some dividing by half. The protein present is half of 23.6, which is roughly about 12 grams in this particular milk. The carbohydrate is about 37.9 present. So in this you would have about, let's say, 18 thereabouts grams of carbohydrates in there, and then the soy lecithin, which is about 0.2, and then the mineral salts, which are present, and all the other fun stuff that's present in the milk. So I don't think this is pretty bad. This is fairly decent for milk, because I mean, what else are you kind of looking for? You don't want to be finding other things in your milk. Okay, so but there's something else that's on here that I'll read for you. Okay, let me read. It says this filled milk has not been modified for infant feeding. How many of you knew that? How many of you actually read that on the packaging? So you have an infant who's between the ages of 0 to 1 year, or a child who's between the ages of 0 to 15 months, and the child has already started taking regular milk. That's not a good idea. And you can't actually not sue the companies because they've stated it, they've told you already. So keep that in mind the next time you're buying something for your child who's not up to 16 months, 15 months, and you want to move on to like full milk. They've stated that it's not a substitute and has not been modified for infant feeding. Okay, so let's move on to the next brand. The next brand we have here is this version of powdered milk, and let's look at the ingredients really quickly. There it says milk components, so that's skimmed milk and buttermilk. It's kind of similar to the first one. They've got vegetable fats. Let's see, the first one we talked about have vegetable fats in there. I think so. They've also got sucrose, soy lecithin again, vitamin A, and this one has been fortified with vitamin D. That's a new one. Okay, now let's look at the nutritional value of this. This, I believe, is also another about 50 grams in here. It might even be less, I'm I'm not really sure. I didn't really pay attention to the packaging. My bad. But do pay attention to your packaging. And just pay attention to your packaging and then divide by what you see on the nutritional facts label. So I'm going again by 50 grams. And in 50 grams, we have 41 grams of carbohydrates. They've gone ahead to help us break down lactose and sucrose. So in this particular milk, you have 36 grams of lactose and about 5 grams of sucrose. So essentially that's about half. So you have about 18 grams of lactose and then about 2.5 grams of sucrose inside 50 grams of this milk. They've also got vitamin D, which they fortify the milk with, vitamin A, B vitamins. Of course, there's calcium in here because milk is very rich in calcium. And it says minimum of 34% protein in the milk solids is non-fat. So about 34% of this is non-fat. Now we've looked at a variety of milks here, but I'm going to keep going because I want to point out 2 things to you. So I will do a comparison of the 3 different kinds that I have here, but let me get through the next one. Okay, so the next one is this one, which I mentioned earlier has a bit of a darker color to it. So let's see what's in this particular kind. So the ingredients of this is full cream milk. Now this is a bit different in terms of definition because the others have been saying skimmed milk and buttermilk, but this says full cream milk, calcium. That's odd because typically milk would have calcium in it. So I'm finding that a little weird that that's included in the ingredients. Soya lecithin. We've established that soya lecithin is what is being used to help to bind milk and keep it preserved, which is E322. Vitamins A, C, D, E, K. And that's it. So that's interesting. So in this particular brand of milk, all you have is full cream milk, calcium, and soya lecithin, according to what they've written in the ingredients. Now let's look at the nutritional facts of the milk. You've got lactose, milk fat, moisture, minerals, and lecithin. Okay. Doesn't really tell us much. Okay, so the lactose is about 39% of what is in here, and protein is about 24 grams. Okay, so this is fair. So now let's compare the carbohydrate and sugar differences between all the kinds of powdered milks that we have here. So the first kind has about 37 grams of it present, and as we have established, we're going to divide that by half, so that's about 16 grams. In this one, kind of the same thing, the lactose present is about 18 grams, so just about a difference of 2. And then in the last one, you have it as 24 grams. This is slightly higher than all the others. So this has almost maybe about an additional 10 extra of what the rest have, about 8-10 grams extra of what the other ones have. Now there's something that I said was really interesting about the third kind that I mentioned before. It has added calcium. That's interesting because you wouldn't usually find milk that has added calcium to it because milk already is very high in calcium. So again, you see why reading your labels is so important, because you begin to identify certain things about the brand choices you make, which is helping you make better informed decisions about your children. As you can see, I haven't said which is better, which is not. I'll leave you to decide based on the discussion we're having right now. Now, let's move on to the last 2. And the last 2 is another yogurt drink. As you can see, this is also very runny, so this is a yogurt drink, like I mentioned before, milk drink to me. And then we have a non-dairy milk. Can you guess? Can you guess what it is? Should I help you? Soy milk. That's the non-dairy milk option we have. Towards the end of this video, I'll talk a little bit more about plant-based milks, and then also talk about what really you should be looking for when you're buying yogurt. But let's talk about this yogurt drink, or milk drink like I like to call it. That has water, milk powder, sugar, stabilizers, E46, E45 E451, E331, E415, E440, E1422. It has 6 stabilizers. Wow. Citric acid, vitamin A and D, yogurt cultures. Again, finding it a bit odd that yogurt is last when that actually should be the first if this is supposed to be a yogurt drink. So I think, again, it is important for you to know this information. All the things present here, none of them was bought in the fridge. All were bought off the shelf in the aisles, which means that if it's a yogurt drink, I'm not really sure how much yogurt is in there because, again, the life cultures are not alive. Let's look at the nutritional facts of this particular one that has 6 stabilizers. That's incredible. Okay, so it's got, in this pack, I think it was about 120 mils or so. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it has about 2.8 grams of protein. Again, yogurt would have less protein because most of it tends to be broken down by the cultures. Carbohydrates is about 12 grams. Fat is about 2.5, and then of course there's calcium, vitamin A, and they fortify with vitamin D. So with the first yogurt drink that I had, you could see that it had the yogurt base first, it had sugar, and then the stabilizers were just 1. But in this particular one, you have almost 6 different kinds of stabilizers. You do the math. You tell me which one is a better option and if your child should even be taking any of the options available, because again, it's just a milk drink. It's not really yogurt. Yogurt is supposed to be coming out of a fridge because the live cultures are meant to be alive. Okay, and then the last one which I talked about earlier is our guy right here, which is soy milk. Now, soy milk is or soya beans is a complete protein, which when processed properly, fermented properly, and has gone through the proper technical work that is used to derive soy milk out of soya beans, then you produce good soy milk that has the complete proteins, also has some calcium, also has proteins, and as well as has some other vitamins and minerals. So soy isn't the enemy. The enemy is how soy is processed. 90% of the soy that's produced is not processed the right way to be able to extract the soy milk out of it, especially if you're doing DIY stuff. I always advise parents that want to make their own soy milk by themselves to ensure that they are following due protocol in terms of processing, because it's important to get the right nutrients out of it. If not, you actually might just be giving your child raw soya beans. Okay, so let's look at the nutritional facts from this particular brand of soy milk. Okay, let's see here. Ingredients, I've got water, whole soybeans is about 10%, cane sugar, palm oil, whole milk powder. That's interesting. It says it's about 1% in there. There's an emulsifier, which is E471, stabilizer E407. This product contains soybeans and milk. So I guess popular belief, this brand is not actually fully soya milk. Who would have thought? Good thing that we're reading our labels today. So again, read your labels, guys. I'm actually finding this really interesting because I'm finding out some things that I didn't even know was happening. I mean, who would have thought that this soy milk actually has milk in it? So again, when you're making or processing or buying any kind of soy milk, make sure that it's 100% soya, because the whole point of having soya milk is so you avoid cow's milk, especially for people who have intolerances to lactose or people who have allergic reactions to casein. Casein is the protein that's usually found in milk, and lactose is the carb or the sugar that's also found in milk. That's in cow's milk. In other kinds of plant-based milks, you usually wouldn't find casein and you wouldn't usually find lactose. So that's why it's a better alternative. However, as we've just established with this particular brand, there's actually some milk in there, along with cane sugar, along with palm oil, and I mean, there you have it. Okay, so let's look at the nutritional facts just so that we get to the end of these samples I have in front of me. Let's see. So it says protein is about 3 grams. That's not a lot. And this is a third of the bottle, okay? And they recommend that their serving size is 100 mils. The bottle that I got this out of contained 3 mils, or the packaging I got it out of contained 300 mils. Okay, there's some carbohydrates in here, it's about 11 grams. There's some fat, which is about 2 grams. There's also some sodium in this. Compared to the rest, there wasn't much sodium in there. Then vitamin B, and then there's some calcium. The calcium in here is not as high as the calcium in milk, which is typical. Milk has a high source of calcium, but you would find that there is some calcium in soybeans. So there you have it. I talked about all the samples I've had in front of me. I gave you evaporated milk. I gave you yogurt drinks, which were actually milk drinks as far as I'm concerned. I gave you powdered milk versions, and I gave you soy milk versions. Now, one of the milks I didn't talk about here was formula, and here's the reason why. Formula is actually specially formulated, created specifically to meet the nutritional needs for children. They have a completely different makeup, completely different formulation, and so it'd be hard to do a comparison of those two, or even go ahead and start reading labels for you, because their makeup is just completely different and they are formulated specifically to meet the requirements of children. Some brands have gone above and beyond to do some more research to begin to add things like oligosaccharides in there. They've also begun to add FTOs in there, as well as DHA for your child, especially for brain development. Now, I won't be able to talk about that in all of them, because honestly, there's 1,001 different kinds of formulas. But again, the most important thing that you want to look out for is that the milk is suitable for your child, and you do not start whole milk until a child is at least 15, 14 months old. I do not recommend it because cow's milk has more complex milk protein compounds that are harder to digest. So you want to ensure that the child's digestive system can actually digest whole milk. I recommend between 14 to 15 months before you move on to full cow milk. And if you're not ready for full cow milk, then there's toddler milks available, there's different kinds available, and you can try those out. Now, the next thing I promised to talk about is yogurts. Now, we've looked at the milk drinks, which, I mean, technically they're supposed to be yogurt drinks, but I call them milk drinks because they're not really containing live cultures. Now, yogurt is supposed to be in the fridge. Now, you've got variations of yogurt. We've got stirred yogurt as well as Greek yogurt. Now, Greek yogurt doesn't have as much protein as stirred yogurt, which is a little thicker, but it has a lot of fat. Now, apart from that, the cultures that are in Greek yogurt are significantly more than the cultures that are found in stirred yogurt. That's why Greek yogurt is always advised to give children. Now, why do I keep talking about bacteria? Isn't bacteria bad? No, not all bacteria is bad. We actually have good bacteria, beneficial bacteria, which we have termed probiotics. I'm sure you've heard the word probiotics before. Probiotics simply means beneficial bacteria that help us to digest and break down food. We have a difficult time doing it ourselves in our digestive system. We have them all around us, and we have so many. I mean, I'm talking about in the billions in our gut system. And when there is sometimes an imbalance, probiotics, which are ingested, help to reset that balance. And that's why yogurts are actually a good way to get probiotics. But you can only get probiotics when you actually have living cultures. And those living cultures can be found in Greek yogurt or stirred yogurt that comes out of the fridge, okay? So, if you have more thoughts, if you have more questions that you want me to answer, please do let me know. I'm happy that I was able to help you kind of see what the different kinds of milks there are out there. And so I'm looking forward to your responses, and I hope you watch the next episode. Hi, Iffy here. Thank you for watching another episode of This versus That. If you don't want to miss a single episode, click on the subscribe button right now so you get a notification anytime a new video is uploaded. If you would like to collaborate on these videos or sponsor any of these videos, you can reach me via email at thekidnutritionist@gmail.com. I look forward to doing these videos, and I hope you enjoy watching them as well.